Hi, my name is Jonas, and in the next 5 minutes I will present you how to build an EMF application based on the EMF client platform with only one click. So what's an EMF application? I will use a very easy example for that, which is the library example. You probably know this. So the application we want to build should be able to manage books and writers. Both can be contained in the library. So if you do this with EMF, probably the first thing you do is create a model. And it looks something like that. So we have a book entity, you have a writer entity, they have a couple of attributes and can be contained in the library. It's very easy to generate such models in EMF, and you can generate code from that. But from this code and from this model to your running application, there's still a long way to go, and you probably need additional frameworks. So you might use EMF Edit, JSpace, EEF, Validation, RedView, EMF Store, or maybe CDO, GMF, and Framework X text. And especially if you're not familiar with all those frameworks and you're in the beginning of your project, it feels a little bit like in this video. So you're the strong developer and you want to catch the whole technology tree, but you just cannot do that in the beginning of the project. So our mission is a little bit different. What we want to offer to you is an application with only one click. So you only have to provide your model and you have an application running after one click. And of course, after that, we allow for customization because this initial application cannot be your final application. So what are the features the EMF client platform provides? We have a navigator to browse entities of your model. We have an editor to modify them. We have a couple of dialogues to search and select model elements in validation view, and a model workspace to store your models. And again, all these features come with only one click. And this click is basically only starting the application. So we're not generating any code and we don't need additional extension or something like that. Just define your model, create the model code, and then start the application. Now I want to show you a little bit more about those features. Let's have a look at the editor. So what you see here is the editor. It shows all attributes of an entity. So we see a book here. And you can modify them. For example, you could modify the title. The nice thing is that this editor is not generated, but it's built based on reflection. So whenever you change your model, you don't have to regenerate this editor or change any code, but new attributes will just appear in the editor. So that's a huge difference to generated editors. And of course, you can customize that. For example, if you want to change the widget for the email attribute, you can plug in a custom widget, and the editor will use your new adaptation to display the attribute, for example, displaying a send button at the mail attribute. The editor of the EMF client platform offers most of the features you probably need in the beginning, but as all other components, you can replace the editor. We see a screenshot here where the editor was replaced with the framework RedView, allowing to drag and drop your UI. So let's have a look at the navigator. You can browse your models here, you can drag and drop, you can create new entities with a right click, and it offers some other features like you can search for model elements and you can link the navigator with the editor. And of course you can also customize the navigator. So for example, if you want to change the drag and drop behavior in a way that if you drag a writer onto a book, the writer becomes the author of that book. Again, the only thing we have to do is provide an extension via an extension point, and we see a little code example here. So that's the only code you have to write, and the most important thing is the drop method down there, and that basically realizes the behavior I've just mentioned. And if you plug that into the EMF client platform, the navigator will realize that. And the last feature I want to talk about is the transparent workspace. Probably in the beginning of your project you want to store your models in XMI, but maybe later on use another framework like EMF Store or CDO. So the model workspace allows to switch between the different implementations. So a totally different topic. You might know that eCore itself is defined in eCore, so it's kind of bootstrapping itself. And that means that we could also use the EMF client platform to modify eCore itself. And if you have no idea what I'm currently talking about, if you have done an EMF model before, you probably know the properties view. And if you want to get rid of them and use a form-based editor instead, that's possible with the EMF client platform. And we have realized a small demo for that. And what you see here is the EMF client platform. So we have the navigator and we have the form-based editor and can use that to define your model itself. That was a very short talk about the EMF Client platform. You can find more information on the web. And we are happy to announce that the EMF Client platform has recently become an Eclipse project. Thank you for your attention.